please stop watching this video. It's awful. Just stop. Apparently, this is a fairly popular video topic, and apparently, I suck at making videos. What do you get when you multiply 6 by 9? 42, apparently. If you guys haven't quite gathered on to what's going on yet, in essence, a while ago, I made a video explaining how 6 when multiplied by 9 can in fact equal to 42. And it's terrible. Like, it's just so bad. It just sucks. And it goddamn blew up. So I'm here to rectify this by hopefully making a good version so people will watch this and not that pile of smoky donkey doo-doo, if you mind my language. Now, let's get to the actual video. So given that you decided to click on this video, I assume that you're familiar with, or at least have heard, of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the sci-fi comedic masterpiece brought to us by our Lord, the Prophet, Dougie Adam, formerly known as Douglas Adams. And if you are somehow unfamiliar, then, well, go watch it.
What's wrong with you?
Read it. Listen to it. Whatever. There's really a lot of different ways to go depending on your preference. It's amazing. But if you haven't seen them, or read them, or whatever, in a nutshell, there is a question. This being the great question. The question of life, the universe, and, well, everything.
The answer to life, the universe, everything.
This is a question of mortality and existentialism common to every being there is. And naturally, with the desire to have this question answered, the beings of the universe flock to a couple of pan-dimensional beings and ask them. Because if anyone knows, surely they would. They didn't, but they did have an idea how to find it. So consequently, a computer was built. This computer being known as Deep Thought. Deep Thought is the most advanced intellectual being to be known, or at least the second most, referring of course to the computer that is to come after. So Deep Thought propped up and these pan-dimensional beings came around and asked it, and in response.
I have to think about that. Return to this place in exactly 7.5 million years.
But eventually, Deep Thought did pull through.
The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42.
And it was, of course, completely absurd. Or at least, so it seemed. Deep Thought went on to explain that the reason we don't fully comprehend the answer is simply because we never truly knew the question. Turns out, simply stating the answer to life, the universe, and everything isn't a very good question.
That's not a question. Only when you know the question will you know what the answer means.
So then, to find out the question, because Deep Thought was too small-brained to know it, an even more advanced computer would be built. And this computer would be so advanced that it could, to the untrained eye, be mistaken for a planet. And it would be called Earth. So Earth was right about to finish its 7.5 million year program and spit out the question. And of course, it got blown up. Thankfully, however, there was a survivor from the explosion. This being Arthur Dent. Now, sentient life on Earth was a critical component to the operational matrix, so surely the question must rest within it. So, eventually, after a fiasco resulting in a near brain dissection, the question was found. By means of a Scrabble board. It's complicated, okay? But anyway, the question was found to be, what do you get when you multiply 6 by 9? Now, ignoring the absurdity that would result in this question being the ultimate question to life, the universe, and everything, you may instantly ask the question, but 6 times 9 doesn't equal 42, it's blooming 54. And regularly you would be right. But, what if I told you there was a way? And it starts with something that I have no doubt you'd have heard of before. Binary. Your instincts may ask, But what has binary got to do with anything? It doesn't even have a 6 or a 9. And that's exactly the point. Binary is, in essence, a different method of counting. It's as simple as, in opposition to counting to 9, then jumping to 10, then counting up to 19 before jumping to 20, and so on, until 99 when you jump to 100, binary will count to 1, then jump up to 10, and go up to 11, then jump up to 100. Which, in a roundabout way, brings us to our normal counting methods. Numbers, as we know them, could be referred to as a social construct. Sure, there's a reason to count, and a number of things is obviously real, but why only to 10 digits, including 0? Then incrementing. Why not say 1? Well, if you look at your hands, you'll find out why. We have 10 fingers, hence 10 digits. So clearly, our counting system known as base 10 is not the only one there could be, indicated by base 2, also known as binary. And consequently, each of these different counting systems will have different implications on, let's say, multiplication, for example. 5 multiplied by 5 in our counting system is 25. But what about, in a random example, base 9, from 1 to 8, then increment to 10, and so on. So let's see. We have 5, so let's add another 5, which brings us to 11, and then another 5, which will make 16, and so on. And we end up with 37. So then, we just need to find a base where 6 times 9 is 42. Well, you may have noticed that going down in bases actually increases the output. So in order to decrease the output, which we need to do to get from 56 to 42, we must increase the base beyond 10, which in order to do so, we need more characters than just 0 through 9. To do so, we simply use the alphabet, being, A, B, C, D, and so on. So let's look at 6 times 9 in base 11. So 9 by 1 is obviously just 9, and then we add another 9, which brings us to 17. 26, add another 9 brings us to 34, and so on. So that's brought down to 50. So all we need to do is try this in incrementing bases, and figure out when we finally hit 42. So here's base 12. And here's base 13. And they said it couldn't be done. Well, there we go, lads. 6 by 9 does in fact equal 42. At least, it would do if we had 13 fingers. Now this simply brings the question to the table. Was this truly the prophet Dougie Adams' vision? Did he in fact intend for 6 by 9 to in fact equal 42 by means of using base 13? Unfortunately, Adams has claimed on many occasions that he, and I quote, didn't write jokes in base 13. So what was it that inspired the answer? Well, we may never truly know, but hey, what sort of ultimate question would it be if we ever really understood it? Wouldn't that demine the comedic nature of the joke? And would it not devaluate the scriptures of the Hitchhiker's Guide? So maybe some things are best left unconfirmed. Although it should be noted that Arthur is not in fact a descendant of the Earth's original components, but rather these idiots.
Before any new product can be developed, it has to be properly researched. I mean, we've got to find out what people want from fire.
And in fact, it's also later stated that the ultimate question and answer are actually mutually exclusive, so it isn't actually possible to find out the answer and the question, hence confirming this not to be the real question. But on another note, here's some fun facts about this whole thing that were pointed out by some wonderful commenters on my original video. So yeah, big thanks to all you guys who commented, I really appreciate it. And I will exploit that as a segue into the end of the video, where I, of course, typically ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Each of those really do mean an absolute ton to me, and really make my day. Now, I would just like to touch on some channel-related things at the end here. So, I haven't uploaded in well over half a year now, and that's because I've been going through year 12, the final year of high school in Australia. But so now I have tons of free time. Hopefully I will be able to commit more to the channel and actually upload. Who knows? We'll see. Come back in a month.